Good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. How's everyone doing out there?
Good
Great.
morning.
Good morning.
Woo.
Good.
All right. We have so much fun in our preamble, I tell you. We get to giggling for sure. So, we are into our episode here of Voices of HealthPointe. For those that are new, this runs virtually every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those in other time zones, and they are on here, we really appreciate you guys and know it's a lot earlier for you guys. But during this time, it is. Started with some docket items, which we'll cue off here shortly, where people know what they want to talk about and kind of go through that. And then afterwards, we kind of get into just kind of round robin discussion, and that's a lot of fun. Um, for those that aren't able to attend live or choose not to, that's understandable, but it is each episode is uploaded onto YouTube, and you just search under Voices of HealthPointe, and you'll find, gosh, what are we on? Like 100 episode 117 or something around there. So there's a lot of material there for sure. So hope you enjoy that. So with that, we're going to
Very
get started.
distracting when you're
Yep,
running
we do have
a
somebody on a
walking
hot
person.
mic. Let me go ahead and handle
That's
that.
Charlie
Let me go.
McGinnis.
Let me go ahead and handle that hot mic.
It was just a picture of
Okay.
him, but he must have just taken
Let
off.
me. Okay, everyone is muted. So when you go to speak for your docket item or in general, you will need to unmute yourself. Sorry, guys, I had to do a mute all on that. I know it's hard to do. It's hard to realize that you are on a hot mic. We've all done it. We were talking about this in the preamble. We've all had a dog start barking in the background or something, but usually it's just us talking and we forget that we're on a hot mic. So I did mute everyone. So with that, with a clear deck, let me get started with my docket item. And let me actually go through the docket items here first. I'm going to cover one called Thriving Between the Seasons, right? So next week is Thanksgiving. So we've got Thriving Between the Seasons, HealthPointe Holiday Mindset. We've got Laurel that is a docket item called I've Got Rhythm. And we have David Munoz that is going to share a non-scale victory. Those are always fun to hear. And then David Dassow also has a docket item called The Second Heart. And just to queue up Eileen for next week, stay tuned. She's going to be doing a docket item on NAFLD, if you're familiar with that. That's non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So she's asked to queue that up for next week, next Saturday. So let's get going here. I'm going to start off with my docket item. Again, it's called Thriving Between the Seasons, HealthPointe Holiday Mindset. As Thanksgiving approaches, life begins to speed up. Calendars fill, travel plans take shape, and traditions come back into view. This time of year is warm and meaningful, yet it can also be one of the most challenging stretches for anyone working on losing weight and metabolic health. Rich foods, looser routines, late nights, and social gatherings all collide at once. So the questions become, how do we walk through this season as a HealthPointe community? How do we stay anchored without becoming rigid? How do we enjoy the moments that matter without sacrificing the progress we have worked so hard for? A helpful reminder comes from a simple statement that always makes people smile. It is not what you eat between Thanksgiving and New Year's that creates the real problem. It is what you eat between New Year's and Thanksgiving. This is more than a fun line. It captures the truth that real health is built by what we do consistently. A handful of celebrations do not derail metabolic health or a weight loss journey. What matters most is the structure around them, the days before and after, and how we protect our thinking, our habits, and our mindset. This is where the bookend technique becomes incredibly powerful. Inside HealthPointe, we often use this technique to frame a holiday so it does not turn into a multi-day spiral. Think of Thanksgiving Day, for example, as the center book between the two bookends. You will probably enjoy foods you do not normally eat. You might take in more than usual. If so, that's fine. The key is what you do on the bookends, on Wednesday and Friday. A tight Wednesday calibrates your system. Hydrate well, center your meals on protein and simple greens, avoid grazing, but snack on protein every 90 minutes. Get your steps in, and if you normally aim for 10,000 steps, bump it up to 12,000 or more. If your baseline is 15,000, push to 17,000 or 18,000. Try to go to bed early. In short, do the program tightly. This combination lowers inflammation, steadies blood sugar, and prepares your body to handle Thursday with far less disruption. Then comes Friday, the day that makes or breaks momentum. Leftovers are calling. The schedule is loose. The pattern of holiday eating wants to repeat itself. A tight Friday brings everything back into an alignment. Eat intentionally. Recenter on protein and greens. Move your body again. Get those extra steps. And of course, eat your supplements. Avoid the mindless snacking that tries to turn one festive meal into a 4-day slide. The bookend technique works because it restores your routine quickly. It draws a clear boundary around the holiday, gives your body stability, and gives your mind confidence. Many people in HealthPointe feel calmer walking into Thanksgiving because they know Wednesday and Friday will keep them grounded. There is another layer to this season that matters. It is keeping your thinking correct. In health, mindset, as we know, is everything. And this time of year is where mindset tends to get soft unless we actively strengthen it. One of the best ways to do that is through the orange dot audios inside the HealthPointe app. Even a short preamble from Nicole Baines sharpens your focus. These audios keep your thoughts clear, your purpose front and center, and your daily posture aligned with the habits that support metabolic health. Listening to a few minutes of the right input can completely reset your direction for the day. Now let's talk about spreading the joy. We talk inside this community about keeping your antennas up and ready to PIF, pay it forward. During the holidays, you often see people you have not seen in a long time. Some of them are struggling. Some want to lose weight. Some have watched your transformation from a distance. They might ask how you are doing it. They might simply say, you look healthier or happier. Be mindful that these moments are opportunities to help someone. You do not need to give them a presentation. You do not need to explain everything. If you are a coach, you can invite them to something simple and easy like our Monday and Thursday morning walk and talk Zooms offered by Network 21. By the way, next week we will not have those due to the holiday, but we will have our event on December 6th. And you can check with the person you're working on details on that. These are safe, comfortable entry points where people can learn, listen, and explore. If you're not a coach, your approach is even easier. You can simply say, I have a coach. And if you want, I can ask them to reach out to you and share a little information with you. Would you like me to do that? That's it. A gentle bridge, a simple invitation, no pressure, just awareness. This season is not a test. It is simply a season. It is a time filled with people we care about and traditions we enjoy. Inside HealthPointe, we are not trying to avoid the holidays. We are learning how to walk through them with steadiness, clarity, and intention. A strong Wednesday, an enjoyable Thanksgiving, a tight Friday, correct thinking, the right audio inputs, and a mindset of awareness for people who might be ready for change. Health is not created in a single moment. It is created across the long arc of the year. And by engaging this season with a plan, with the right mindset, and with a community that supports you, you can enjoy every part of it without losing your footing. Okay, guys, and again, everyone is muted. So if anybody has any questions or comments, and also while I'm doing that, I am letting some new people, not new people, but some people in. It's a programming note reminder. If people do come in a little bit behind schedule, that's fine. We'll let them in, but just let them know that if we're in the middle of a docket items, we might wait until after that. So just tell them to hang tight. Okay, anybody have any thoughts or comments, or are we going to our next docket item? If you do, be mindful that you need to unmute.
I have
Well,
a
I'll just,
comment on that. Look,
okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just think that's awesome because if you try to be perfect all the time, in the long run, it can set you up for failure. I pretty much did everything perfectly for a couple of years, and it's just not normal. You have to be normal. So if you have your Thanksgiving day, but like you said, bookend it, you can feel good about it.
I love that perspective on that, Eileen. Yeah, this could be expanded even beyond the Thursday Thanksgiving or what have you. This is like you're saying, Eileen. This is life, and we could even broaden it beyond the context of a year and just say, hey, over the next 5 years, over the next decade, are there going to be either holidays or events or seasons of life where you kind of need to maybe do this bookend technique? I love that, Eileen. I appreciate you kind of double clicking on this notion that you have to be perfect.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
you mean it was repeated over and over. You have to be, don't be weird. And I'm like, well, I got to be weird. I want to lose 75 pounds. That's weird. But, it did work. But I also need to learn how to be normal too.
yeah, yeah.
I appreciate that. I think what I took a couple little notes just to remind me because, um, it, it gives me a plan. I've thought about it, but if okay, this day, that day, it's kind of like you have a plan for 3 days, and it just gives you, I think, a little more confidence when you go into whatever you're doing. You mentioned something about intentional eating, and I have to share this story. Carol told me one day I would have to share it, so I'll make it quick. A couple weeks ago, we were going out to meet with friends from college and previous to college that we hadn't seen in a long time. I knew we were going to an Italian restaurant and they were going to have pizza and salad. I'm thinking, oh boy. So I decided ahead of time, 2 pieces of pizza, because I hadn't had pizza since January and I love it. 2 pieces of pizza and lots of salad and just water to drink. So we're there. We got the pizzas. There's about 20 of us at the table. And I put my 2 pizzas on my plate and then my salad, and I was eating as much salad as I could. Well, somewhere along the line, I'd eaten one piece. I went to grab my other piece and it was gone. And I realized that I had eaten that pizza without even enjoying it or thinking about it or whatever, because I was talking and stuff. And I was so disappointed at that moment in myself. Oh, God, I planned this. And so that I thought, well, the pizza's right there. I could take another one. And and really enjoy it. I thought, no, I said, I'm going to have two. I'm not going to do that. But I was disappointed. So anyway, jump ahead. We get in the car. We're driving home. And I said to my husband how disappointed I was. I said, God, and I didn't even enjoy it. I was so looking forward to it. And he goes, oh, well, didn't you see me? I took that piece of pizza off your plate because I couldn't reach the pizza next to you. I go, what? He goes, yeah, I took the one. I thought you saw me do it. I go, no. I said, you mean I only had one piece? No wonder I'm still hungry. Anyway, and so
That's
it
awesome.
was, that is a mind, I was so going to be intentional. And then I missed that part. I was happy, but I was also mad because I missed out my moment to have that second piece. And I really did. I really thought, oh my God, Laurel, you ate that whole thing and you didn't even enjoy it. So anyway, I just had to share
That is awesome. That is not where I thought that story was going. That was a
that.
nice twist. So what you're saying is in the HealthPointe program, we need to pack along Al, your husband, as part of this program.
Well, he was like, I couldn't reach your pizza and you were right next to it. I thought you'd just grab another. I go, I didn't know. So
I don't think he
Oh,
did
yeah,
anything
bring
wrong.
somebody along that will sneak food off your plate. That would help.
oh.
My wife has that.
Kathy does that.
No, Kat,
Huh?
my wife has that.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah.
I
Explain
said, my
yourself,
wife
Munoz.
has that. I'm the one that sneaks your food off your plate.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, you have done that through the years. That is true. But luckily, it's never been like a savored event like poor Laurel went through. So, Laurel, sorry that Al did that to you, but I guess in pre-planning, next time you have to say, listen, we get this pizza place. I'm taking 2 pieces. Leave them on my plate or
Yeah,
tell
well,
me.
or at least tell me.
Get
At
that
least
communication going.
just say, I'm
Marriage is all
taking
about
this piece.
communication.
Yeah,
So
right.
Al should have said, hey, I'm taking this,
That's right. There you go.
But so
Well,
proud
we
of
all
you.
learn.
Good job, girl.
Eric, I wanted to
Way to
say
go.
thank you for that because I know I have a plan because I'm like, okay, because I'm getting so close to where my goal is. I'm like, oh my God, the holiday. So now at least I have a plan.
Yeah, it's a fun awareness, this technique and so forth. And just to circle back on everything, how is it that so often in these episodes we get into marriage advice? Once again, we did this, didn't we? It starts with Al taking a piece of pizza off, and then Kathy, you and David are always getting drawn into this, whether we're talking about uh, Pillow Talk was one of the episodes. I don't know. It's so fun. It's so fun. So, but no, it's and thank you, David, for that, for commenting that was valuable. I mean, we all, for those that are new and this is your first holiday season that you're navigating, this is going to be very, very helpful. Like Laurel was talking about, there's something about having a plan and some structure and kind of being intentional. And also, if you're working with people, if you are a coach and you're working with clients, this dominates the conversations right now, or at least it has for me. It seems like every other Zoom that I'm having, pretty much every Zoom that I'm having, it is about, because what happens during this time of the year, I mean, I think of this one gentleman he's got yesterday and today family get together parties. And then I think it's next week going away to another one in Chicago. So that's, the whole topic of how to do HealthPointe when you travel and the tips and tricks that we all share on this program about that as well. But these are really, I think, important conversations. If they're not bringing them up, might I suggest maybe bringing it up for them, because they, part of, I feel, my job as a coach is, we've got this windy, twisty trail going through the woods and down through the valleys and up the hills. And I've walked that trail before, and I know what's around that corner. I know what's over the top of that hill and down in that valley. And they wanted to get from point A to point B. And part of my role, I believe, is to say, hey, around this corner coming up, this is what you're going to see around that corner. I don't want to ruin the experience for you. I don't want to tell you everything. And furthermore, it's their life. Even if I'm trying to handle everything for them, I don't live in their shoes. They do. They know their family situation, their lifestyle, their work schedule, their social, economic, everything. It's their life. And what they're doing is applying the HealthPointe methodology in a manner that works well for them with their thinking and their life. But broadly speaking, if there's a Mack truck around that corner, I don't want to just stand back and giggle and watch them go around that corner and get whacked. I want to say, look, this is what's coming up. Maybe you've thought about this. If you haven't, would you like to explore some strategies on how to deal with next Thursday, or this birthday party that's coming up, or this graduation party that's coming up, or this, this whatever. So anyhow, not to belabor that, but I think it's a valuable topic in general.
Eric, if I could just jump in, like, for a couple little tips.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about from when we've talked about this topic, through the years before. I know one thing that I always try to do, because you don't always know what foods are going to be there or whatever. So I always offer to bring something that I know we can eat, like a salad or a veggie tray, that way you at least know there's going to be some vegetables, there's going to at least be some salad. So, you can at least eat something definitely HealthPointe related. And then I always have my bars cut up in baggies. And so that way we're still snacking, throughout the time on something protein in case there isn't any good protein there, So it's just like, again, little things like that, just to kind of plan ahead. And then usually in the morning, I try to get some steps in before I go. But then normally that night when I'm back home, Well, actually, at my niece's house, normally I'm just walking back and forth at her house because they're used to it. They know now that I'm going to be walking. So I just kind of do it throughout the day. But, if you're gone somewhere and then you come home, you can still, get a couple thousand in once you're home that night. And that'll help kind of burn off maybe some of what you've eaten. So those are just a couple things that I know have helped me through the years.
That's great, Kathy. And gosh, it seems like last week that I can remember you talking about your Thanksgiving experience. So this was last year's walk and talk. I can vividly remember you talking about, I couldn't remember if it was at your niece's, but I knew it was at some relatives, and how you were walking back and forth in their house, and your cut up protein bars and so forth. Uh, Great tips, and great to revisit that.
And, I think it also helps. Well, it helps me anyway, and maybe it's a good tip for others, especially if it's just your first time. And this is actually my first holiday season because I started last January. So it'll be interesting for me, a learning experience. But I think to have in my mind a couple ready-made excuses. I don't want to say excuses, but reasons, because people often can question, especially if they haven't seen you. Now, I've lost a lot of weight, so maybe they'll kind of be curious as opposed to critical on why I'm not eating all that. But to say something about why, just to get them out of your face, kind of thing. And I've often used, well, I'm having blood work done next week, and I don't want to skew it too far, so I'm sick. I mean, no one's going to say, well, oh, who cares about, so something like that, or that's the one I tend to use, and that usually gets me out of the conversation pretty quickly and move on to something else. So but to think about, everybody knows, and now it may be, well, I've done so well this long, I'm not going to change it now. But, in my situation, I'm not going to have that probably happen for Thanksgiving, but it might be a helpful tip, or at least to think ahead of what are you going to say? You've got a couple relatives or somebody that's going to, have something to say. So anyway, that's just a thought.
Yeah, Laurel, I agree with you completely. And even I just say, drop the mic with the fact, like, I'll look at people and go, well, 7 years ago, I was 58 pounds heavier. I was pre-diabetic. I'm no longer diabetic. I'm obviously not 58 pounds heavier. And I've been healthy for 7 years. So I watch what I eat every day. Boom. They really don't say too much.
Yeah, that would shut them up.
Well, I believe in everything in proportion. So, like, they got everything there. And I do want to try it, but I'll try very small portions of no things I know that I shouldn't eat, but I just want to try it because it looks really good. But everything in proportion for me.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The cliche statement that it's the dosage that makes the poison, right? Can you
Yeah.
eat donuts on HealthPointe? Sure. It's just got to be about the size of a thimble, not a whole bucket full of them. Um, I really appreciate that you brought up this broader subject, Laurel and Kathy, on what to say. I struggled with this personally early on. I know everybody that doesn't know me well might think that I'm like gregarious and outgoing, and sure, I can be that, but my default is quite phlegmatic, actually. And I enjoy just deep study and reading versus going. Parties drain my energy. So sorry for all of you that thought I was sanguine out there. But the point is that whether in a family setting or going to a restaurant, I had to almost kind of like rehearse my lines in my mind. And I think that's what I'm hearing you talk about, Laurel and Kathy, to learn to say to a wait staff, to say, hey, I'm on a healthy eating program. This is what I would, communicate. I'm on a healthy eating program. So you'll see me making some unique choices. The only problem I'll say with saying that to a wait staff is these days, they will like clear the decks. They will bring out the chef. They will like, they will go over the top. It's like, no. I'm just talking about, like, I might swap out fries for broccoli. No need to like call management and bring them over and kowtow to me. I'm not asking for that. I'm just trying to be healthy here, but in all seriousness, to say something to the wait staff. Also, if you're, with friends at this dinner, if you're not having cocktails because that's part of what your choice is, just something, you could even use I'm not trying to be weird here. So, hey guys, just so you know, I'm not trying to be weird. I'm not drinking some cocktails here tonight. I'm on a healthy program right now. And I'm just going to be having some water or something like that. Just something. And it's fair to them too. Think about it from their standpoint. They might be wondering. It makes them more comfortable and curious, particularly as they see your transformation. So, Laurel, I think this is a huge part of things, particularly as this time of the year, we're around more people, family, friends, coworkers, that I think having those lines are important. So, yeah. And let me Jeannie just mentioned something here. In fact, guys, if you like to use a chat, if you're not able to go on mic or choose not to, I want to read a chat here that Jeannie said. First, this latest one, she said, bring your carb blockers. True. Thank you, Jeannie. Yes. For those that are familiar with our carb blocker product, I definitely have those on hand. And then Jeannie also says, Eric, in saying all this, what would you put on your plate? Build what should be there and what could be there and what to avoid. Yeah. So, and again, I'll turn it over to everyone, of course, on that, on some thoughts and on ideas on that. But in general, it depends on what's there. Of course, it could be all different things, but if there's, turkey along with stuffing and mashed potatoes and some broccolis and a salad and some fruit, particularly if somebody's active in a 6-week cycle, it would be selecting the turkey and the broccoli and some fruit, and not taking that big volcano size mountain of mashed potatoes with the stuffing on top of it and ladling on the gravy. So that's what you would avoid, and make the choices instead on the good clean protein and the good clean vegetables and some salad on there. And then again, talking about like the turkey leg emoji there, David Munoz. I saw that floating up the screen there. Very, very clever, my friend. So that would be the types of things. Also in this discussion, if people have some ideas, something that just came to mind as I'm thinking of what is often around our place during this time of year, Emily makes now I'm going to preface this by saying, well, the first time I heard this, I thought, no way. And I'll just go on record as saying, what I'm going to tell you now is something that if I had a choice between
cauliflower.
Yes, you knew it, David, didn't you?
Oh yeah, share away.
Oh my gosh, cauliflower mashed potatoes. Emily, I don't know if you're on here or not. I think you are on the call. You're probably running 6 miles on the treadmill downstairs, but she makes a cauliflower mashed potatoes that's got that garlic in it. And I got to tell you guys, I would never have dreamed that truly I would now choose that over the pile of like mashed redskin mashed potatoes. And partly because you don't have that you feel so great afterwards. You feel energetic, your blood sugar is not tanking. Well, it goes, it goes hyperglycemic first and then tanks. So you just feel so great. So cauliflower mashed potatoes is phenomenal. So I'm just throwing that out there, guys. It's great.
Well, now you have to put the recipe up at some point.
Yeah.
Because that would be helpful.
I heard recently, maybe somebody can speak to it. I heard on one of the Network 21 walk and talks that there's a Instagram called HealthPointe Eats. I don't know if anybody's seen that. If so, speak up, say that you've seen it. If not, I guess I'll confirm that. But apparently they have an Instagram channel called HealthPointe Eats. I know we've got our WhatsApp channel, Laurel, that we're part of, that we have to put recipes on there and stuff. But the Instagram called HealthPointe Eats is what I understand it's called, probably has this and more. And if it doesn't have cauliflower mashed potatoes on there, we need to add it. Yeah. Good
Emily's
stuff.
recipe.
Yes, Emily's cauliflower mashed potatoes. Delicious. Absolutely delicious.
Well, I have to get it now because I made it before. I'm sorry.
Is
Go
that
ahead, Emily.
Emily?
I'm sorry.
I think I heard Emily.
I say yes, I will say that I want to see me. I'm running.
Okay. It sounds like you're running. You hear Emily unmute and she's can I give a shout out to the group on what you're training for, Emily? Oh, she muted herself. So I'm going to take that as
Go
now this
for it.
is
We're
not
all family.
this is not marriage advice. I know we often talk about how we drift into marriage advice somehow on the walk and talk here, but I'm sure she would be fine with it. Emily, as you guys know, it seems like I don't know how many times a year she's doing a run. Now, all of us started with HealthPointe, her and I back in 2017. So from that foundation, she's done I don't know how many marathons, half marathons, 10Ks, and stuff like that. Apparently, that is all getting too easy and boring. She's signed up for an ultra. Okay. So an ultra is anything that's over a marathon. So it's a broad category. I'm not sure the specifics of her race, but she is now training for an ultra. So when you hear her unmute and she's, a little bit out of breath as she speaks, that's because she's training for an ultra. So go for it, Emily. We'll see you after this episode. I think we had something else pop up on chat here. Let me see.
I was going to add something.
Yes, please do.
Again, I always preface things, I'm a sanguine, but I remember really well when stories, especially when people share things. And it's been a long time, and I believe it was a physician that shared this, and that is Thanksgiving Day, I believe, is one of the top heart attack days for men. And one of the things the doctor suggested was making sure you take your double X on Thanksgiving Day, especially like before your meal, because it helps, as my understanding. Someone double check me, I'm sanguine. But what I remember him stating was that it helps to make your arteries and veins more pliable so that your body can handle the overload. That's it.
I thank you, David. And you are remembering correctly. And Kathy Munoz, in addition to being the step queen, you are also the Orange Dot audio queen. I know it's on the tip of your tongue which audio that is. Is that audio number 11?
Let me look. You got me.
I want to say it is with the.
It's Dr. Andrea Miller in her
Yes.
talk because of her husband position as the cardiothoracic surgeon and so forth. And so anyway, yeah, it's on one of those audios, but it is Dr. Miller, and he's absolutely right. Make sure you're taking your double X when you're eating big meals like that.
You have no idea
Yes.
how good it feels for someone to tell a sanguine that he's absolutely right.
It means you'll be back next week again, right, David? Just to give it a chance at that.
Yeah, but David, don't forget it was a sanguine telling a sanguine. So I'm not so sure.
And we love you all.
Oh, for
I'm
those that
still
are
looking.
totally lost on here because you don't know what a sanguine is. If you're new to the program, speaking of the 4 personality types, there's a wonderful book called Personality Plus, and sanguines are the life of the party. So fun to hang out, but sometimes we'll just say a little inaccurate on the details. Details seem to not really matter as much to a sanguine, which is why we love them. So I love it, Pam, that first of all, that you pointed that out. And secondly, that you reminded us that you're a sanguine and David is a sanguine. So a sanguine telling another sanguine they're correct.
Yeah, Steve always reminds me that it's a history according to Pamela instead of the truth, because I just come up with the vague facts. Well, it was about that time of year or something. but it doesn't matter. Let's move on with the story.
Yeah, it's still a fun story, right? Well, it is in the Orange Dot audios, and Kathy will probably find it soon. But I seem to remember that it's Orange Dot number 11. For those that are wondering about what we're all talking about and have your HealthPointe app, go to Orange Dot audio number 11, I believe, in the daily messages, and you too will hear this amazing audio in general. And Pam, you hit it. You detailed it out so accurately, but in that she also mentions about Thanksgiving and the issues with heart attacks and why it's important to supplement for sure. So, well, we are just having too much fun here. We are going to move along, and Laurel, you've got rhythm, is what I hear. So, if you can we cue you up for your docket
Yeah, here
item?
I am. Yeah, well, I should have probably called it We've Got Rhythm, but that's not the name of the song. So I called it I've Got Rhythm.
All
So
right.
I will apologize in advance if I get cut off. I got a
And we
little
do have some
feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you have two devices on by chance? Do you have a computer and a phone on by chance?
not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay.
Is that any better?
Yes, that's better. It
Okay.
at
All
least
right.
seems
When
like,
it, when
yep.
it happened, I saw Kathy pop up. So maybe it was, I don't know. Anyway, I'll just say if that was appropriate because I was talking about interference. But when I'm talking, I hope it doesn't break up because today's my birthday, and all of a sudden, just in the last 15 minutes,
What? Wait,
yeah.
hold on, guys. Happy birthday,
Oh well,
Laurel.
We got to
Woo!
sing. We got to sing. We got rhythm. We
no,
got to
jeez.
sing.
All right. Let's do
Well,
it,
save
guys.
it.
Everybody,
Oh, geez.
One,
let's
two,
unmute.
three.
Happy
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 birthday
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 to
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 you.
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 Happy
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 birthday
birthday
To
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 you.
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 Happy
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 birthday,
birthday,
dear
dear
Birthday.
Raul.
Laurel.
Happy
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 birthday
Happy
birthday
to
to
Birthday.
you.
Okay.
you.
We need to take
All
this
Disagree.
on.
We do
right.
We
not
need
Happy
to
have
take this
rhythm.
on the
birthday, but
show.
We
we'll
need to
my
run.
clip
God.
that.
Well, you
I'm
guys
sure.
Happy
don't
birthday
have
anyway.
rhythm, that's for sure.
Oh
I'm
my
Oh
just,
my
God.
I'm,
God.
I'm changing my article back to I've got rhythm now. It's no longer we've got rhythm.
A
Oh,
lot of
thank you.
love, but no rhythm. Well,
That's
happy
right.
birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, and my point in saying what was is my phone has just in the last 15 minutes or so started blowing up with people sending me little birthday messages. And so every time it did, I'd miss a word of what you guys said. So hopefully, when I go through this article, it won't do that to you guys. So anyway, all right, we've got rhythm. And this is about circadian rhythm and why it matters for weight and obesity. And circadian rhythm, which we often refer to as a body's internal clock, for those people that maybe aren't familiar with the term. And the article was about the common lifestyle habits that can cause our circadian rhythm to get off track. So I'll just take it from here. Circadian rhythm shakes you awake each morning and is the unheard lullaby that sings you to sleep each night. But did you know that this internal force affects far more than your nighttime Z's? Circadian rhythm regulates numerous bodily symptoms, and when it gets disrupted, the consequences can be surprisingly far reaching. Disturbances to your circadian rhythm over the long term can increase the risk of various health conditions and even contribute to weight gain. The relationship between weight and circadian rhythm is bidirectional. It goes in two directions, and the Chief Medical and Innovation Officer at Neurotis in Dublin, Andy Franklin Miller, says obesity can disrupt your body's internal clock, and a misaligned circadian rhythm can promote weight gain. So it's a vicious cycle. The Latin root circa, meaning day. This is what circadian rhythm is and why it matters. The Latin root circo means day, and circadian rhythm refers to the body's daily pattern of several physiological processes, notably the weak sleep-wake cycle. Sometimes the biological clock is the force that makes us alert or sleepy throughout each 24-hour cycle. What moves the hands of this master clock? This is going to get a little nerdy. You'll like this there. A structure in the hypothalamus called the suprachiasmatic, also called the SCN. It uses light that enters the eye as the guide, and this SCN, controls production of the hormone melatonin. As nighttime comes and light decreases, this internal clock tells the brain to produce more melatonin, makes you feel drowsy. And in the meantime, the SCN also syncs the daily rhythms of your organs and your tissues. When we align our habits with our internal clock, we unlock more than weight loss. We restore energy, improve mood, and reduce inflammation. The connection between the rhythm and obesity is a complex one and involves lots of our body symptoms, but major player is our hormones. The circadian rhythm holds sway over the hunger hormones, leptin, which signals fullness, and is it ghrelin, which triggers hunger. When sleep is irregular or poor quality, leptin drops and ghrelin levels rise. It makes us feel hungry and tends to drive cravings. When your hormones get hijacked, so can your metabolism. Disruptions to the circadian rhythm cause the body to favor storing fat over burning it, particularly when meals are eaten late. Some research indicates that gut microbiomes get involved in the sleep obesity dance as well. Poor sleep can alter the bacteria in the microbiome, leading to an increased risk of weight-related issues. Then, of course, there's the simple fact that a crummy sleep lowers your energy and motivation to get active. So they mentioned some lifestyle factors that disrupt your circadian rhythm clock. It's possible to override it with your behaviors, they say. In fact, getting out of sync is relatively common. Modern life is a circadian rhythm wrecking ball. I like that one. Here's a few culprits that disrupt your clock. One, irregular sleep schedule. So they suggest get a sleep schedule that looks, is your sleep schedule more like an improvisation than a script? That's bad news for your internal clock. Nighttime light exposure. Blue light, we've heard this a lot, from many of our devices suppresses melatonin production, putting a kink in the circadian rhythm. 3, mistimed eating. Eating too close to bedtime, especially heavy meals, is a risk factor to confuse your circadian rhythm. 4, low physical activity. Sedentary lifestyles weaken circadian synchronization as exercise helps reset your internal clock. Sounds like HealthPointe to me. How to get your body in sync. Get it, if you've got a derailed circadian rhythm, you can get it back on track with a few lifestyle changes. 1, stick to a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends. Get outdoors for some morning sunlight within an hour of waking. Avoid bright screens and artificial light at night, especially 1 hour before bedtime. Time your meals to align with daylight. Prioritize eating breakfast and lunch during daylight hours and avoid late night snacking. Establish a relaxing bedtime routine, maybe including reading, stretching, or meditation before turning in. And stay mindful of caffeine and alcohol consumption, especially in the evening hours. Then if on the article, there's a little quiz you can take to see how much you know about it and discover, what you might need. And in wrap up, even small everyday choices can put your circadian rhythm out of alignment, messing with your sleep and potentially increasing your weight. But the reverse is also true. A few lifestyle shifts may be all you need to get your body's natural clock back on track. There you go.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And yeah, it's got a lot of emojis coming up through here. Thank you for that, Laurel. That is, there's a couple of things in the HealthPointe program that sometimes we stop and go, that's kind of drifted. One that comes to mind that we sometimes talk about is water, for example. It's something about water where it's like, we talk about breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and macronutrients, and protein snacking, and walking, and there's this water thing, and then we kind of have to be reminded of it. The other one that I would say is right up there is what you just covered, Laurel, and this good sleep. And the way I guess we think about it is, one thing is just from a practical standpoint. I love the part I was jotting down notes. I didn't jot down the actual sentence that it was, but basically it was just going through the science, and it just said something like, and then there's just on a practical basis, if you get crummy sleep, you're going to be, out of sorts to do whatever you're going to start your day with. Okay. And I would just point to that in that if somebody is striving, if walking is important, right, and 5,000 steps before breakfast or whatever element that they're doing, well, if you have a bender going all night and you're just up late night watching TV and you go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, pretty tough, to suggest that you're going to be, up and spry and throwing your shoes on and going outside and getting that walk in. So for that reason alone, I think having that good sleep is huge. And man, it was a fun phrase, but it really is impactful when you said, does your sleep routine, your bedtime routine look more like an improv or more like a script? Oh my gosh, that's hard hitting, right? But so true. And what a great way to describe it. And anything within HealthPointe, if people are just like winging it, I'll tell you I'll just, take a little bit of a tangent on this. If you have a client, if I have a client, I'll just put it that way. If I have a client who, we have the WWW check-in, right? If that check-in, which has been going at whatever time, they start the program and it's like between 8 and 8:30, they're clocking in, or between 6 and 6:30 or 7 a.m. or 9 a.m., doesn't matter. But all of a sudden it starts getting like into improv mode, where it starts getting like into 11:45, and then, oh, I almost forgot to check in today, and it's 1:30, okay, in the afternoon. And then sometimes and there's 6 o'clock. Okay, I get it, and I'm not judging it. All I'm saying is that is, to your point, Laurel, this is less on script and more improv. They're trying to wing it through their HealthPointe journey versus kind of setting a bit of structure to it and building those habitual routines. And when it comes to sleep, that is huge. That was awesome, Laurel. Thank you. And happy birthday, too. Do you want us to sing again for you? No?
Well, I'm going to chime in here and say happy birthday.
What?
Hey.
Oh, hey.
Look, you got a surprise birthday gift this morning, Laurel. We do have Carol here. We said you weren't here. Good morning, Carol.
You guys are awesome. And thank you for that, Laurel and Eric. Boy, I hope I can get a recording of this because I want to listen to it with a fine-tooth comb. You guys are so awesome. And Hank and I miss you, and we're looking forward to seeing you Monday night. It's going to be a fun night. And Laurel, you just gave yourself the greatest birthday present, and that was you lost your age in weight. And I think that is so fabulous. So congratulations to you, and we love you all.
Oh, thanks. And enjoy your granddaughter's wedding.
We will. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Wow. That was just like a pop-up birthday present here for all of us.
I'll take that interruption anytime.
Love it. Didn't even know
Eric,
she was on you. Yes, Pam, good morning.
I have a direct question. Maybe some of you builder types might know the answer to this. So if you're walking inside on these early mornings, can that morning light get through the big picture windows? And of course, nowadays windows have that coating on them and stuff. But like I'm in my living room, the sun comes, it's hitting me right now. And so I'm opening my eyes really big to try to get sunlight in them. But I don't know if it even matters if it's coming through windows. Does that count?
Boy, that's a good question, Pam. I'm gonna venture a guess here, but I don't know. But we could find out.
Eric,
Yes.
I can share my I listened to Dr. Andrew Huberman, and yeah, that's one of the questions. You get some benefit, but it's not the same. He said that you can walk outside. Yes, so that's the answer. You get
Oh,
some benefit, but it's not, again, it's not the full
All
benefits.
right. Thanks, Emily.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Emily. So, yes. So there you have it, Pam. Some, but not as much. So,
Okay, so I'll get out there on my back deck, look towards the east, and open my eyes really big for a couple minutes.
yeah, just kind of, sprinkle it in there. I think I just saw David Dassow do that as well. And David, I think you had mentioned it as well.
Yeah, I get the sun on my front porch. And so the whole time Laurel was talking, I was out on my front porch getting the sunshine in my eyes. And then based on talking about sleep, I just thought I'd share that. So Chris and I have been in maintenance. Chris has lost over 100 pounds, been on maintenance for more than 10 years. And so a couple years ago, she got into a bad sleep cycle where she was getting up at 3:30, 4 in the morning. Really difficult for traveling, living with a person like that in a hotel room. Anyways, some of the things that I believe that made a difference is some of the new products that we have. And so before bed, she does take a sleep gummy. She has a magnesium. We have something called Sleep Health. You open the bottle and it smells really bad, but I think it works really, really well. If it smells really bad, it means it just smells like the farm. And I don't know if this is right or wrong, sanguine guy here, but we both take our sleep relief probiotic at night before we go to sleep. And then the other thing that we've been better at is that we get up. I don't like to walk. She does. And so it's because of her that I stay on target. And so I wake up and the first thing we do is we put our clothes on and we go outside for at minimum a 15-minute walk. And we usually go for about a 30-minute walk. So we're getting the outdoor fresh air and the sunlight. So get up between 7:30ish or so to go out for a walk. And I know I don't like it, but I know the importance of maintaining that routine.
Sounds like you and Chris kind of keep each other in balance there, right? And her strengths might not be your strengths, and your strengths might not be her strengths, is what I'm hearing.
Hey, I got some good news about the stinky valerian hops that David was talking about. That is being replaced by something that's going to smell real good and be really great, but it won't be till summertime. So you'll have to put your clothespin on your nose and take your sleep health until summertime, and then we've got a new one coming. So just wanted to mention that to you. And don't forget the lion's mane. Lion's mane is also very, very good for sleep. So that your omegas, and yeah, those are in the course of magnesium. And you take all of those and they can do nothing but help your sleep. So that's my little tidbit for today.
Wow. Great reminder. So stay tuned on the valerian and hops. Get an extra set of clothespins in the meantime. Thank you. And then the lion's mane. Great stuff. Wow. What a great segment here on the circadian rhythm. I also didn't know that meant day. I love learning those little things that circa means day. I guess that should have been a little bit obvious, but first time I learned that. So thank you again, Laurel. Well, we are coming tight on time. We might have to put one of our docket items in. We've got two that are kind of put a pin in it perhaps for next week. We'll see how we do on time here.
Let's set enough. Let Dave Munoz share.
Okay, but definitely we want to hear we'll put a pin in yours on the second heart, and then Eileen on non-alcoholic fatty liver disease for next week. So guys, that would be fun. After Thursday, Thanksgiving, Friday, you're bookending it, Saturday morning. Tune in for that. But let's switch over to David Munoz on a non-scale victory. David, if you're there.
Yes, I'm here. Actually, I was going to let David go, but I guess Dave is going to go instead of David. But oh, wait. But yeah, actually, I went to the doctors, and for those who don't know, I'm pretty sure everyone knows. But about a year ago, I had to go through a major surgery, but had some complications and was eating things I shouldn't eat just because of the doctor's orders, and couldn't even take a lot of my supplements and or the supplements that we take. So unfortunately, I gained a lot of weight, and I've lost 57 pounds since
Nice.
January. But almost there to my goal, and then I got about 8 more pounds to get to my goal. But I went to the doctors because I was really concerned with this because I had complications. I went to my surgeon. My wife corrected me, of course. She's I don't know what that is. But she goes, but I went to the surgeon and talked to him and get my last thing I had from a complication, but they had to wait a year for it to be done. Went in there and I was like, lost all this weight. And, I'm sure he reviewed my results because he knew about them, and he reviewed my blood test. Sure, I'm sure he did that too. But I was going to have to wait another possibly 6 months for this next procedure. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait 6 months. I said, can we do it in 3? Then he goes, you look healthy and everything about you looks healthy. So we don't have to do this in the U of M hospital here. We can do it at my clinic and get this done. Chelsea Hospital, Chelsea Hospital, and get it done quicker. And he goes, so let's move you up for possibly 3 months. And so in half the time simply because I looked healthy. So there you go.
Wow. Boy, that is a high level non-scale victory. Huge. To be able to literally shape the timeline and the course of treatment that you have based on your dramatic, health improvement. 57 pounds since January. Your surgeon's jaw must have been dropping on that alone, I would think. So wow, what a huge non-scale victory. Very, very cool.
There seems to be a trend here of losing your age and weight. So let's keep that trend going.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and
So
it's helpful if you're going to do that, lose your weight. Don't wait till you're 80.
right.
It's
Yeah.
I
easier
think the
when you're in
important
your
thing is not
70s.
I don't think the important thing is that I lost the weight, which is helping in the other aspect. But with all the blood tests, everything came back green. All my pressures, everything is going healthy. So I think the more important thing is that I got healthy, and my coach had a lot to do with it. She's sometimes a nag, but, she's a great coach anyhow.
Don't make me mute you, Kathy. I know you're getting ready to come firing.
Yeah, that's the marriage part, Eric.
He said it. None of us did. So, but David, I know you said it lovingly, very lovingly. She lovingly nags you into your
Yeah, she does.
your ultimate health here.
Well, the research shows that we usually marry the opposite half of our brain, and that makes the relationship, then you're a complete person. So there you go.
always said
You
that,
need
yeah.
that other half.
Thanks,
A
I always
complete
say my wife
person,
completes me. So,
but it takes a lot of compromise.
That's true. Getting those two halves of the brain to kind of work as one without
Only
without strife.
sanguines see it as having to compromise. We always think it's a compromise, whereas the other personalities think it's just getting things
They're
right.
right. The other person just thinks they're right.
Well, yeah, they probably are. I'm right there with you.
All right, David, just get your sunshine. I see you out in your porch. Get your sunshine. We're all good here. We're all friends. This is Voices of Friendly HealthPointe here.
I didn't mean to start this.
No, in all seriousness, congratulations, because, those types of things, I mean, you've had a very significant health journey, a surgical journey. And, the reality is that most people, even if they're doing everything, tracking very, very well and everything, things happen in life. I don't know, Laurel, something about taking a trash bin out to the curb site. Next thing you know, you have your shin almost shredded off like a cheese grater. I think that was the basic summary of your story.
Right.
Um,
And walking and getting attacked by the dog. That was the other
oh, that's
story.
right. That's right. Did that happen when you were down in Texas? And
Texas, yeah.
I remember when you're on that walk and talk, and Jerry and Sharon were down there. It was like, hey, you're down Jerry and Sharon's
Yeah, and I was getting
Ville.
my early morning circadian rhythm sunlight too. So, but
Wow.
things happen.
Geez, oh, Pete, I thought that was around that timeline. Well, um, so things happen, right? And being healthy, having good blood work, having all those, all that, not only your macronutrients, but your micronutrients, all of these things. I mean, it optimizes, healing. It puts you in, better state if you do need to have surgery or some sort of intervention. I mean, talk to any doctor, talk to any dentist too. If they need to do any kind of significant dental work on somebody that has type 2 diabetes, I mean, that's a whole nother topic because of, the difficulty with healing and recovery. So great stuff, David. Thank you for coming in on that non-scale victory, the scale victory too, but non-scale is also 57 pounds down and an improved, kind of a surgical schedule. So wonderful. Well,
It will
guys,
help with his recovery. So 9
yeah.
months ago, I had surgery, and my doctor told me I did well because of my health, and I had done 2 cycles of HealthPointe before the surgery, and he told me that was what helped in my recovery. And if my recovery was good, I feel sorry for the other guy.
Okay. Yeah. So it was still pretty brutal, is what you're saying. Your recovery was still pretty brutal, but less brutal than the other guy that wasn't healthy. So that's fun. Good stuff. Thank you very much. Well, just on a wrapping this up, because we have had a wonderful, fun hour. Never know where these trails are going to lead us, but it's always such a blast. But picking up on something that Carol did mention when she was able to join in here briefly, Monday night, we're going to have a wonderful episode. So for that, that's at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The doors do shut promptly, so at 8:05. So unlike this program, where if you come wandering in 20 minutes late, we're still letting you in that program for the sake of the speakers. The doors shut at 8:05. So be sure to be a couple minutes early on that. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It runs 30 minutes tight. I happen to know some of the people that are going to be on there, and you guys are in for a treat for sure. So anyhow, guys, I think that this one's in the, go ahead. Somebody else?
Yep, I got one more thing for Laurel. So tell her to thank you for what she said.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Rhythm Nation, Laurel.
Rhythm Nation.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're going to put this one in the can until next time, next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You couldn't hear it?
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
I'll listen to it, Dave.